I got slick Nick Aguirre on the show now, who will be back in action on November the 18th at UFC Fight Night 232 when he takes on Payton Talbott. Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Excited to see you back in action. It's been a minute. I know you've competed in other forms of combat sports since we last saw you compete as a professional mixed martial artist, but it's been 10 months or so since we last saw you fight. So, is there a reason for the layoff, or is it just you haven't been able to get the fight you wanted?
Just circumstances, I guess. I mean, I've been wanting to fight since around May. I was asking to fight again, and it just, for whatever reason, didn't work out. And, this is the first offer I got since my first fight. So yeah, I'm ready to go. I mean, I wish it wasn't such a long layoff, but I'm ready.
That's got to be frustrating, right? Because I mean, you're new into the UFC. You just had your debut in January, so obviously you want to compete, you want to get paid, you want to be active. What is it like when you're not competing? Making money. What else are you doing to kind of pay the bills?
I mean, it was definitely frustrating. I was taking jujitsu matches to just like stay busy competing wise. And this is all I do. So it was definitely difficult at times. But I mean, I just got married. My wife is very supportive and she helps a lot. She's all in on my dream. And, without her, I don't know how I would do this. So that was a big help because I would definitely have had to work and find ways to make money because this has been a long layoff for me.
Yeah, I saw you got married in, is it July?
Yeah, July.
Okay, congratulations, man. And what, three kids? Is that what you and your wife have?
No, I don't have any kids. No, I have two nephews and a niece. So that's all
Okay.
for now. No kids yet.
Fair enough. I saw something. I believe it was on your Instagram, maybe that I saw kids, and I assumed. So that's what I get. You assume you make an ass out of yourself. I would imagine that that could be around the corner. Is that something that is in your near future?
Yeah, definitely in the near future. But for now, I'm happy just being an uncle. So it's all good.
Very good, man. Now, are you doing privates at all for people? Is that a way for you to make money? And do you feel like maybe down the line when you're done fighting, like you could be a coach?
No, I don't really do much. I just train a lot. I mean, I train twice a day, Monday through Thursday, and then I train Friday. I train Saturday. I mean, I'm training basically every day other than Sunday. And even on Sunday, I still always am doing something. I run, I do something. I never just sit at the house all day. So I'm always just active. I mean, I'm all in on this. I'm all in on being a fighter and being the best fighter I can be. I mean, I want to be a UFC champ, but all these guys want to be that. So you have to do these little extra things. You have to make sacrifices. You have to be broke sometimes when, I mean, it sucks to be broke, but sometimes that's what you have to do if that's what you want.
Let's talk about your debut. That was in January. It was a UD loss to Daniel Argueta. What did you learn from that fight?
I mean, there's a lot of circumstances to that. I mean, props to him. He did what he had to do. If I took that fight on 5 days' notice at 145, I mean, I did the best I could, but I mean, I'm trying to learn from it as much as I can, though. There's some things I did that, I mean, really didn't help me win the fight. I mean, I backed up a lot. I let him put me up against the fence. I really let him dictate the fight. So I learned a lot from that. But I have a really good team. I have a great coach, Mike Valley. I have great people around me, Bilal Muhammad, Juliana Pena, Carlos Hernandez, bunch of good UFC fighters all around me. So I've learned from them. Have given me a lot of advice and told me, especially Bilal. Bilal has given me so much advice. It's told me so much about things I could improve on and where I went wrong with that fight. But a lot of it was just my mindset wasn't the right way. I was thinking too much about other things, and I let him dictate where that fight went rather than fighting my fight.
The other things that you were thinking about, was it about the fight or was it externally?
It was more like just how busy I was that week. Because as soon as you get there, it's not, oh, you just get to go fight. You have to do all these medicals. I had to cut 20 pounds. And I was thinking too much about, like, man, there's a lot going on rather than just zoning in on the fight. And I was worried too much about, like, oh, I'm not in the best shape of my life. Like I always thought when I got to the UFC, I would have everything perfect. Like I'd be everything would be exactly how I need it to be. And obviously that was not the case. And I feel like I thought about that too much rather than focusing on what I could control, which is my effort and how I perform out there.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, like when fighters are making their UFC debuts, they're getting it like you had on short notice, maybe up a weight class against an absolute monster. So a lot of times the cards are stacked against you guys. I talked to some fighters where they feel that makes them relax even more because they have nothing to lose. And you're saying it was basically the opposite for you.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel any like more pressure. Like I didn't feel any type of way about, oh, this is my UFC debut. But I was thinking about more so like I knew I was not in shape to go 3 hard rounds, like in my head. But like after the fight ended, I wasn't extremely winded or anything. So I knew that was just me being in my head about things rather than just going out there and fighting. Because I bet if I would have gone out there and tried to put on a pace for three rounds, I could have done it. But I was thinking too much, overthinking the situation. I train every day. I do all the right things. So my body is ready to fight at all times. And I just needed to remember that at that time.
As far as octagon jitters go, you making the walk to the cage. Did you feel that? Was it different than other fights previously?
I would say that was the one thing about it being short notice that was like kind of good was I didn't really think about it at all. The week happened so fast that next thing I know, I was walking to the cage, and it was a little surreal. But like I said, everything was happening so fast. I never really thought about it until the fight was over. I was like, wow, I just fought for the UFC. Like I've dreamt about this since I was a little kid. That's crazy. But no, I didn't really hit for a while.
Gotcha. And moving forward, 135 is where you want to fight. There won't be any taking fights at featherweight.
No, no, never again. Always bantamweight's where I want to be.
What are you walking around at these days?
I walk around at like 65, 66, 67. I'm pretty big. I cut a lot of weight, but I've been cutting weight since I was like 12 years old. So I know how to do it the right way. And I don't bullshit. I'm not at all. I do everything the right way. So I always make it easier than it probably should be for somebody my size, but I get the job done always.
Let's talk about the bantamweight division for a minute. We have a new champion. Sean O'Malley beat Aljo. Got to be honest, man. I'm a betting man because I'm not in the UFC. I can bet and not get dinged for it, right? So I put money on Aljo. I thought he was going to beat O'Malley, and boy, was I wrong. Did you see that coming, or did you feel like you were in the same shoes as me? You thought Aljo was going to win?
Yeah, same shoes as you. I definitely thought Aljo was going to win. Props to O'Malley. Obviously, his striking is amazing. His timing is amazing. But yeah, I thought Aljo was going to get it done. Um, I'm a pretty big fan of Aljo, so I was hoping he would win too. I watch a lot of his fights over and over again because I feel like my style translates to his very well. So I try to like take a lot of things from him. But yeah, I definitely thought Aljo was going to get the job done.
Do you think O'Malley is going to retain and be the champ for a little while, or is there someone at the top of the division right now that you think is going to dethrone him eventually?
Um, I mean, I think Rob could definitely get the job done. I think Rob would give him a lot of trouble just with his pace and his wrestling. I mean, he's not going to give him any space. Like he's gonna just gonna be on him nonstop. It's just a matter is Rob gonna get that fight.
Mm.
Rob's gonna probably fight Cejudo, I'm guessing, because Cheeto and O'Malley will fight. I think O'Malley will beat Cheeto. I mean, it'll be a good fight, but I would probably lean O'Malley if I had to bet on it, and which we're not allowed to do. And like, but I do think Rob would give him the most trouble. Also, Umar, when he comes up, I think he's going to be problems for any of them, especially somebody like O'Malley would have a lot of problems with somebody like Umar. So I feel like those are probably his two biggest challenges, like that could possibly get a title shot soon.
Yeah, I agree. Anyone with the last name Nurmagomedov, they're a problem.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh,
uh, I'm salivating for the big pay-per-view event, not this weekend, but next weekend in Abu Dhabi. Let me get a couple of fight picks from you before we transition to your fight against Payton Talbott on November the 18th. Lightweight titles on the line. Islam Makhachev. It was supposed to be against Oliveira, but he's out now. Volkanovski's in. Who's winning that rematch?
Islam's gonna win that fight, I think. I mean, just the circumstances, like short notice. It's in Abu Dhabi, so like he has to travel there. It's just like the first time they fought, I felt like everything was kind of in Volk's favor, and it was a close fight, but he still lost. I feel like he just is in way worse circumstances now, so I don't see how the result's going to change. So I think Islam's going to win. I don't think he'll finish him. I don't think anybody could really finish Volk. Volk is so good everywhere. So it'll be a challenge, but I definitely think Islam's going to win a decision.
Yeah, the way that you just kind of explained that has me leaning even more towards Makachev for this rematch. I can't wait for it. I'm such a big fan of both of these guys. It's going to be an epic main event. Now your
Yeah,
co-main
they're
event, right?
best.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. Paulo Costa's out. Kamaru Usman steps in, and now he's facing Hamzat Shemaev. I don't even know what to think about this one. So you tell me where I should lean.
I think that one's a little more intriguing. I can see Usman winning that, but if I had to pick, I would choose Chimaev. I think Chimaev will win just based off the time. Usman's short notice. Also, he's coming off two losses. I mean, that has to get in your head mentally. And Chimaev is just on a high. Like he is so confident. He's feels like he's untouchable, and I feel like that's going to be hard to get through for Usman.
I think that the first minute of the first round is going to be absolute fireworks. I think they're both going to come out and Shemaev is going to push the pace and it's going to be a firefight. In a situation like that, we know what kind of power that Usman has. Do you feel like the chances of him winning are better, obviously, early in the fight versus if it goes a little bit longer?
Um, Possibly I could see that, but I don't know. I really don't know. That's an interesting fight. I could see that fight going so many different ways. It just really depends. I mean, Chimaev is he just goes out there and he goes hard right away. So that could be interesting. He could definitely get himself in trouble by doing that. I mean, he does it every fight. He just runs out there and tries to maul the guy immediately. So obviously he puts himself at risk doing that. But I can't really picture it. I think Chimaev will win, but who knows? It should be a good fight. I'm really interested in that one. I like that fight a lot more than Chimaev Costa, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, me too, man. I can't wait for it. Well, let's talk about your fight. This is the one people watching this interview, they want to hear about full camp. How are you feeling leading into this fight?
I feel great. I mean, this is definitely the hardest I've ever been pushed in my life. This camp has been. I mean, I found out about this fight. I don't know how many weeks ago it was. Like by the time I get to the fight, it would be 13 weeks camp. So it'd be a super long camp. We've been working hard. I mean, I have great teammates. I'm getting pushed every day. Like every day is hard. Hard. We just grind out here. So I'll be ready for sure. I mean, I'm excited to go in there and get the job done.
Are you excited to be fighting at the Apex, or are you kind of hoping you were, at a big arena with a bunch of screaming fans?
Not so much. Definitely not a huge fan of the Apex. I mean, I wish like my family could come watch me fight. I mean, they've been on this journey with me from the start. Everybody's been so supportive of me. And then for me to like get to the UFC and nobody can come watch, it's kind of a shitty situation. It's like 2 grand or something. I heard a ticket, something crazy like that. Like, so it's rough. I wish my family could go, but it is what it is. It's not going to affect me like when I'm fighting. So I stay focused on what I can control. And but yeah, if it was my choice, I would not be at the Apex. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel the exact same way as you do. Now, your opponent, he is undefeated. 5 of his 6 wins are by TKO or KO. This is his UFC debut, though. What do you think of him as an opponent? What does he bring to the table?
I mean, respect to him. He's definitely good. His striking is very good. He's very long. He has things that are going to be trouble for sure. Like all these guys are though. Like this is the UFC, this bantamweight division. Like everybody who weighs what I weigh couldn't be pro athletes in any other sport. We're too little. Couldn't be in the NFL. We couldn't play these other sports where like light heavyweights, middleweights. They could have, if they were like some of the best athletes would didn't get into MMA because they were doing other sports. My weight, nobody could. These are like the best athletes my weight. Like, so obviously he's good, but I know that I'm good too. And I know that I have a lot that he has to worry about. And I feel like he's definitely underestimating me. I know he's a lot of hype. I mean, I'm not dumb. I know what this is. Like, I know that my first performance in the UFC was not great. And I know that he's contender series guy. They love him. They keep comparing him to Sean O'Malley and they want him to make a highlight of me. That's what I feel. And it's my job to go out there and make sure I shut that shit down.
Have you heard him? Has he talked any junk or been disrespectful towards you in any way?
I mean, nothing crazy, but definitely a bit. I mean, he's kind of like said how he didn't really want this fight because something about me being boring and he's not sure if I'll bring it, but he'll find out real soon that he doesn't have to worry about that.
Does that add even more of a chip on your shoulder leading into this fight?
No, it's a fight at the end of the day. It makes no difference what he says. We could be best friends, but if you put us in there, I'm gonna try to fight him the same way. You know, it's me or you out there. So no, I mean, there's nothing crazy what he said. It is what it is. I don't have any like hard feelings towards him. I'm sure he's a cool guy, whatever. But we're gonna have to fight. So November 18th, obviously he's gonna try to kill me. I'm gonna try to kill him.
What did you think of his contender series performance?
I mean, it was good. I mean, he lost the first round, second, third, he definitely won. He just puts up a pace. His pace gives people a lot of hard time. He has a high, high output. So, I mean, that's the biggest thing. You know exactly what he's gonna do. His all of his fights look the exact same. There's no difference. I know what he's gonna try to do. He's gonna try to strike the whole time. He's gonna try to basically just break me. That's what he does to all these guys. He just so much output that people start folding. So I know what he's gonna do. I mean, it was a good performance, but I mean, I feel okay knowing like I know exactly what I'm getting into.
With the pace that you're saying that he puts, has this been a camp where you've been putting even more emphasis on your cardio?
Yeah, I'm getting pushed nonstop. I mean, we know that I have to be able to go 15 minutes hard. Like there could be no point where I'm breaking. There could be no point of like my cardio's not there anymore. You know, I need to be able to go all day.
Ultimately, do you see this fight going the distance and you getting your hand raised via decision, or do you think you're going to be able to get him out of there and hand him his first official loss?
I think more likely than not, it's probably gonna go the whole 15. I mean, he's a tough guy. He's gonna be hard to finish for sure. I mean, even on the ground, like he's hard to control. He gets up pretty quick. So like I definitely like I have like a good plan. I have a really good plan, but I know that he's gonna be hard to get out of there. He's a very confident kid. He's gonna fight hard. So I'm ready to go 15 hard, but obviously if a finish comes, like I'm taking it. You make one mistake against me, it's fucking over.
And as far as moving forward for you, Nick, I don't know how many fights you have left on your initial UFC deal, but are you trying to get full camps in next year and just be the best version of yourself, or would you prefer to just be more active and get in there a little bit sooner?
I want to fight a lot. Like I'm hoping, hopefully get through this, and then hopefully 3 to 4 every year. That's what I want. I don't like just sitting around waiting. Like I like to be active. Like if I'm not active, like I'm always finding something to do. Like I'm always finding a competition to do because I just can't live life just sitting around. Like it's not for me. I've competed since I was a little kid. I've been involved in MMA since I was like 11. So I'm always need to be doing something with this sport. If it's like jujitsu, whatever it is, like I need to do something. I can't just sit around and do nothing.
Can't wait to see you back in there, man. Again, November the 18th, UFC Fight Night 232 at the Apex in Vegas. Nick, great talking to you for the first time, man. Before we do
Get it.
sign off today, yeah, thank you. I want to give you the floor here. Tell people where to follow you on social media. If you have anyone to thank, anything to plug, floor is yours.
My Instagram is slicknick135, so follow me there. And just want to thank all my teammates and coaches at VFS Academy. We're a small gym. We don't get talked about like a crazy amount, but we have so many good fighters at our gym. Like yesterday at sparring, we had like 10 guys who have been in the UFC or are in the UFC. So it's crazy that Mike Valley doesn't get talked about as much as he should be. But shout out to all my teammates and coaches.